James Williams here for Sports Minded to give you guys some updates on what's going on in the world of sports today. The latest we're hearing about Alex Rodriguez, of all things right now in the MLB, is that a lifetime ban may actually be a part of the plans going forward for MLB. A lifetime ban may be given to Alex Rodriguez. That is what's being reported by the USA Today. Bob Nightingale has an article up right now. And with that said, along with A-Rod, 8 other players are supposed to be suspended sometime this week. But mainly just staying on A-Rod for a minute, A-Rod may actually get a lifetime ban. There had been some news earlier today that I did read and come across that if he did not come to some sort of deal or agreement and didn't kind of do what Ryan Braun did, then Alex Rodriguez may actually be facing a lifetime ban. I'm not sure if it's the first time since Pete Rose, but it would probably be the more notable one since Pete Rose, if any. It's pretty crazy that it may actually happen, especially someone who's so young in their career. Well, not young into their career, but still young within life, I guess you can say, if that makes any sense. We'll still, if you were to still see Alex Rodriguez around, you would be still associating him with baseball, but baseball wouldn't associate themselves with him, if that makes any sense. I'm just throwing it out there. So anyways, that's something to look forward to later this week, and I will let you know as soon as that becomes official. So be staying tuned for another video or a post on sportsmindednews.com for more information on that. So I just thought I'd get that out of the way. First and foremost, sticking with the MLB and everything going on right now, as I mentioned, if I haven't already, the MLB trade deadline just ended today, a few hours ago. You did have some trades. You had Ian Kennedy, who was a pitcher, who was on the Arizona Diamondbacks, getting traded to the Padres in San Diego. They trade 2 pitchers and a 2014 pick for him, I believe. And then you also had you had a bunch of people going on the 15-day DL. I'll get to those on the Facebook page, so stay tuned for those. But just sticking with some of the trades right now, you had Justin Maxwell, who was on the Astros, getting traded to Kansas City for Kyle Smith. Some other smaller trades. Juan Herrera was traded to St. Louis. Justin Vargas, right-handed pitcher, was from the Astros, was traded to the Tigers. I'm trying to find the 3-team trade. Before I do that, it looks like the Angels actually traded Scott Downs to the Braves for Corey Rasmus. Still trying to find that 3-team trade. It doesn't appear to be coming up. Anyways, I can't find it, so just check up on the side. I know I have it up on there somewhere. And with that being said, sticking with it, some more MLB before I kind of wrap up the sport for this video. You had Brian Wilson, who was a relief pitcher, or a closer, I guess you can say, for the Giants for the last few years. I guess wasn't on a team all season. I kind of forgot about him, to be honest, but he does sign with the Dodgers to a 1-year deal. Kind of funny because everyone just had the Los Angeles fans were getting over Meadow World Peace leaving, I guess you can say. So they call them the quote machines. Meadow World Peace was a quote machine for many members of the media. So now that he's out, I guess Brian Wilson can come in and fill that role for the people in Los Angeles. So jumping off of that and going into basketball, since I was talking about Meadow World Peace, someone else in the NBA who got a big deal today, and that is John Wall for the Washington Wizards. Actually got a max deal, 5-year extension worth $80 million. There had been some talk that they were in discussion, so nice to finally see that happen. It's I guess you can kind of say it's nice to see the Wizards lock him up, and that way they do have someone that they can kind of go on as their franchise guy going forward, especially over the next 5 years. The Wizards haven't been all that these last few years, and which is in part why they had gotten John Wall in the draft. But nice to see them lock him up, and nice to see John Wall actually staying and willing to sign and commit long-term to the Washington Wizards. Moving on into the NFL, which will be starting up this Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, for the Hall of Fame game. along with the Hall of Famers being inducted in the day before, if I'm not mistaken. You do have some news going on there. You had Percy Harvin announcing on Twitter yesterday that he will be out for quite some time with the hip surgery, I believe. A surgery of some type. He's expected to be out with a recovery time of 3 to 4 months. If he did plan on coming back anytime this season, it's unlikely. If he does, it'll be very late into the season, which isn't a bad thing, seeing as how the Seahawks are considered, and kind of were last year, a team who can make a run and may be there late in the playoffs and maybe even in the Super Bowl. So you may have a secret weapon in Percy Harvin showing up that no one has seen before this year, going into this season, and you may have that at your disposal to use in the Super Bowl if you're a Seattle Seahawks fan. But you may not see him if he does decide to come back. Right, if everything goes well and whatnot, you may see him back by week 12, week 13, maybe around the bye week or so. So that's something I guess you guys can look forward to late if you're fans of the Seattle Seahawks. Just looking down at my notes, something else that caught my eye and was actually making quite a bit of buzz on Twitter was the Pro Bowl. I gotta give him credit for this. It's been kind of boring, I guess you can say. Kind of boring with the way it's been played and handled. It's just kind of everyone seems to just be going through the motions with this. But this actually seems like a good idea. What they're deciding to do is get rid of the AFC conference team against the NFC conference team. They're going to actually make it where your two top vote getters will be captains for one of two teams, 1-1, and they will both do a fantasy draft more or less. And that'll kind of spark the interest of the team of the game itself, to see how that works and how that will take place. I know Jerry Rice is going to be involved, kind of as I believe they called it an alumni captain for one team, and I think Deion Sanders will be the alumni captain for the other team. So nice to see those guys. I guess if you wanted to, you can say it's the NFL Network versus ESPN there if you wanted. So interesting to see how that will take place. I kind of like this idea because it almost will work as like a top 100 in a way, how they've been doing that with the rankings. Of course, you're going to get you're going to have a lot of the big name players in this game. So to have those guys there, and we'll see what their peers more or less think of them as they get ranked, as they get drafted one by one. So we'll see, if it's Peyton Manning and Tom Brady who are the top vote getters, and Tom Brady has the first pick, who would be his running back? Would he pick Adrian Peterson, or maybe he'll surprise some people and pick Marshawn Lynch or something crazy like that? So who knows? I mean, that's the kind of thing that I'm looking forward to seeing. I think that'd be kind of interesting to see how that goes. Let's say, you get Christian Ponder, who's the top vote getter, and you get Jay Cutler. Just as an example. I'm just saying as an example. Would you see Christian Ponder draft? It's probably not the best example. Well, let me say this. If you have Jay Cutler and Christian Ponder both as captains of the team for whatever reason, would you have Jay Cutler pick Adrian Peterson, or would he pick Matt Forte if both of them were eligible to be drafted this year and for the Pro Bowl? That'd be some interesting news you can look into. Obviously, most of you would say Adrian Peterson unless you're a Bears fan, but I'm just throwing that out there. You can just change Christian Ponder and Jay Cutler to anyone else if you want. Just thought I mean, that's about it. Just going down my notes, that was pretty much it. Everything that kind of caught my eye, really. You have a few more things going on in the MLB, but stay tuned for that. We do have a new article up by Trey. Trey wrote up an article to continue his series. This is number 2 of the series, where he discusses and talks about the blitz and how that takes place and what it's used for in the NFL. So his first one of the series for Football for Fools was about the option, if I'm not mistaken. This one is about the blitz. You should definitely check it out. There's some nice visual examples for you guys to check out as well with that. So with that being said, don't forget to follow us on Twitter, sports_minded, and don't forget to check out the website and check out on this YouTube channel. I have a few videos up already, but we're discussing and previewing some of the teams. Well, we're going to get to all the teams, but we have some of them up now in the NFL for this upcoming season. We're doing small previews. with Percy Harvin being injured. I'll probably be talking about Seattle later this week. I know there is a game this week, the Hall of Fame game. So those two teams will probably be the next two teams I talk about. By the time this video is up, I'll probably already be working on those videos. So stay tuned for those. I should have those up shortly. And as I mentioned before, follow all the news, videos, rumors, scores, and more on sportsmindednews.com. And we'll have everything covered for you there. With that being said, I am James Williams. Have a great day and enjoy everything that is going on in the sports world.